Hi, I'm Amanda with Smithfield, Carolina Pottery. We are back here today to do another wreath. This time we're going to be working on a summer flamingo and a summer flip-flop. So today we are going to make the flamingo wreath, and we're going to use this frame here, already pre-made wreath form, and we are going to use the fabric mesh in the hot pink magenta color. We're going to use 2 ribbons. We got a flamingo theme ribbon and a black and white jet themed ribbon. We're also going to be adding a flamingo to this wreath, and we're going to add a flamingo welcome sign to the wreath. Okay, the first thing that I like to do is take our wreath form, and I like to go ahead and straighten out our ties a little bit to get them together. There's 2 of them, and of course we're going to be tying them. So I like to get them kind of pulled out and getting them ready to be worked. After you get those straightened out, I set that to the side, and we're going to take our magenta mesh and we're going to cut it. For this kind of wreath form, I cut 18 pieces. There are 18 ties, usually always, in this wreath form. And we're going to cut them at 20 inches. That's going to take your whole roll. So we're going to cut them at 20 inches, 18 pieces. I am going to cut a few with you. I did cut the others just to save time of the class. So we're going to pull our measuring tool device out to 20 inches. And we're just going to measure it out. And we're going to cut that. You can put it on top of it if you want. If not, you can lay it to the side. I usually just kind of stack them on top of each other. And see, when you get to the end, this is going to be the 18th piece, and it basically comes just about perfect. So I'll take that off, and you can just take your tape off of the end. Be careful, because it will stick to it. And if you want, you can always just cut it a little bit too. Whatever you need to do to get that off. Okay, so now we are going to do the ruffle method. And what we're going to do is I always like to take a piece of mesh and just lay it straight out. If you have a flat surface, of course, I always like to lay it out kind of over the edge of your surface. And you're just going to bring it down, and you've got 2 seamed edges. They're going to be the ends of the roll. When you purchased it, the 2 ends, they're going to be seamed. Where you made the cuts, that's where you're going to start ruffling. You're going to ruffle it up to the center, and that is just going to create a ruffle. And then when you get it in your hand, you can kind of pull on each side, get it kind of even. You're going to start anywhere you'd like, but I always start on the outside and then move to the inside. It's easier than doing the top and then working under that you've already put in. So I always start on the outside ring. And to show you this, and we're going to place it in, kind of going the shape of the wreath, the length wise, and just fluff that out. Then we're going to take another piece. We're going to go up that middle. Get it the way you like it, where it looks pretty good. We're going to go in about halfway mark. Now twist them about twice just to hold it, because we're going to be going back in shortly with our ribbons and untwisting those, putting the ribbons back in. So you don't want to do it too many times, because it'll just make for more work for you later. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue all the way around, the outside rim. When you get done with the outside, you're just going to move to the inside and continue going around until you get a ruffle in every twist tie. Okay, so we've went around the back ring and we've gone around the top. We're coming to an end, so we're going to finish these up. So we're going to finish up the mesh. I love the way the black and the magenta pops. This is going to be a fun wreath. Then I always like to go back through and kind of give it a fluff. So we're going to grab our ribbons. And to save time for, you know, preparation for the class, I have went ahead and cut the ribbon tails also. We're going to be cutting the ribbon tails at 15 inches. So what we're going to do, we have 18 ties. In this design of the wreath, we are going to put one of each ribbon in every single tie. Just like here, we've done it with these two ribbons. And by the way, these two wreaths are basically the same design. They're the same, they're made exactly the same. The only difference is different colors mesh. You've got two different ribbons. You've got two different embellishments and two different signs. Other than that, everything's the same. It's just different colors and different style. So our ribbon tails are at 15 inches. So I've got this out on 15 inches. You're just going to measure it out. Put this over here where you can see. It's hard to see with all this. Okay. So we're going to do 18 of these. And then we are going to do 18 of these. Same thing, 15 inches. I did dovetail the ends. And to do that, you're going to take your ribbon, you're going to fold it over, go backwards. And you're going to have like a little, where the fold is, and you're going to cut up at a diagonal, and that is going to give you the dovetail on the end of the ribbon. Just gives it a neat little design, something different. Yes, I also did this with all 18 of these and the flamingo. So after you dovetail all your ribbons, then we're going to start putting them in. Move some of this out of the way for you. And remember what I told you about we'll be going back in to those twist ties? So we're going to go back in again, as before. Always start on the outside ring. It just makes it easier to work from the outside in. So just untwist it where it just barely comes apart. Take your two ribbons. You can stack them. Fold them in half. Find your middle area and then just scrunch them or pleat them. And you have like a little, some people call them birdies. We're going to slide that in all the way down to the mesh. You're going to close that tie back up. Now you can tie it a good 2 or 3 times. That'll be the last time you're going in there. And we're just going to separate these 2 ribbons where they're kind of going across from each other. We are going to go around and undo every twist tie, and we're going to put both of these ribbons in just as we done here. If I went this way with this one, this time I'm going to try to go the opposite way so that all of them don't go the same direction. It kind of changes it up a little bit. So there, we're going to keep going and work ourselves around. So like we got the flip-flop in this area. We're going to put the flamingo at the same location. But I'm going to put it there just to hide that area. That's a perfect way to hide an area that you just really, it's not one of your favorites. And then our sign is kind of right in here. I'll turn it around this way so I can kind of see. So I think if we do maybe a little something like this will be good. So let's put the sign in first. And the way I done the sign is first is I cut the rope off. And to put these 2 items in, I just done it the simple, easy way, and that is the glue gun. So with the sign, I kind of look where I'm going to place it. We know the flamingo is going to go here. Our sign's going to go there. Well, let's see. Well, we want the flamingo there and the sign. No, let's do it the same way as that flip-flop wreath. Okay, so we got the sign. Kind of put your fingers on the back side where you know it's going to hit on the ribbons back here. And when I lift it up, I'm going to kind of hold my fingers in place. And basically on these sides, it kind of works out perfectly underneath where they stapled the rope in. You're just going to go down a little bit and put your 2 glue spots. And that's going to hit right there where you need it to. So that's a good little guide for you. So we're going to put a dot of glue there. A dot of glue on that one. We're going to come back in. We're going to set our sign down. Don't push it hard. Just put a little bit of firmness on it so it can grab a hold of the fabric on the ribbons. You don't want to actually squash the wreath. Let that sit there and dry, and we can start doing our flamingo. So the same thing, we're going to put him right in there. And we could probably glue a little bit on his foot, on the back of his foot, and put it right there. And put some on his body, right in here, and we're going to glue it to that ribbon. So I'm going to turn them over. Put a little bit of glue right there. A little bit of glue in there. Be careful, don't get burnt. This glue is really hot. So we were going to put this foot right here. We're going to put this little guy right here on this ribbon. And I'm feeling underneath it just to make sure it's connecting. But I'm not really pressing down that hard because it will burn you through the ribbon. So just let that sit for a minute. Your sign is good. It's secure. And always you can make your final adjustments by going through and just fluffing out or redirecting those ribbon tails however you'd like them to face. And when you get done, depending on what you like, you're gonna have the, well, if I can grab it, I don't want the sign to fall off. I guess it's not completely dry. So you're gonna have your flamingo wreath or your flip-flop wreath. So I hope you enjoyed the class today, and thank you for joining us at Carolina Pottery.